M. St. Charles versus Wagner. This is a parenting time show cause hearing filed by Mr. St. Charles. I'll go around the Zoom boxes as you appear to me. I'll state your name. Please state your names for the record. Ms. Wagner.
Nicole Wagner.
Ms. Boyd.
Sarah Boyd.
And Mr. St. Charles.
Matthew St. Charles.
Ms. Mullen.
Tracy Mullen here on behalf of front of the court.
All right, since this was privately filed, Ms. Boyd, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. St. Charles filed this show cause motion due to alleged violations of the judgment of divorce, which was entered in this case on October 27th, 2022. Most of the alleged violations are regarding respectfulness, essentially some parenting time conditions, as well as a few violations of joint legal custody. I think there may be some confusion as to what joint legal custody entails on the part of the defendant, and I'm hoping that the court can clarify that.
Okay, so Ms. Wagner, what's going on?
From my understanding of what was filed, their supposed violations are that I don't use the parenting app to notify Matthew of appointments, which is false, and I've submitted out all of those. Every appointment that Noah has ever had, Matthew St. Charles has been to, which has been included in that app. Other violations including I denied him parenting time, which he turned in a violation when our son was seen in the emergency room for a seizure. And that was filed in front of the court, and front of the court denied that violation, stating that no violation took place, as well as other violations, including harsh and aggressive language, which has been filed once or twice.
So Mr. St. Charles, what appointments are you alleging that you're not seeing? That sounds like she's putting them on there.
The ones that I haven't been able to go to were the EEG, which was December 21st, and then the emergency room visits.
Ms. Wagner, did you tell hospital security that Mr. St. Charles did you file something with hospital security? I saw that in the allegations.
Yes, I did. I contacted them and asked them for my safety and Noah's. They do not allow a third party to be involved. And Matthew and I have an abusive history. Matthew and I, in my opinion, I do not feel comfortable being alone with him because things get very verbally aggressive, as well as then allegations get thrown around of he said, she said, and then this happened several times before. And I asked them, in their opinion, for my safety and for Noah's, and to keep everybody at ease, what was the best thing to do. And they told me that because he did not have physical custody, they did not need to allow him in. That was under their policy at the time. And so I told Matthew about the appointment. I told him how it went, and I told him I would give him the results when I got it, which I did. But no, he was not there for that.
Well, you're aware that with joint legal custody, you don't have any authority to keep him from coming to appointments.
Right.
So you did that in violation of the court order?
I did not keep him out of the appointment. I was just asking in regards to everybody's safety.
When would you have been alone with him? It sounds like you would have been there at a hospital.
Yes, but the scan that our son had done, he was attached to the wires to monitor his brain activity, and it was just Noah and I in that room. So it would have been just Matthew and I alone.
So is the solution that we just have Mr. St. Charles take him and you don't take him to the appointments, or are you going to start allowing him to go? You can't just prevent him from going to these. Do you have a PPO in place or anything?
No, I've tried getting one.
And in other words, the courts reviewed it and denied it?
Yes.
So what are we going to do going forward? I mean, we can't continue to have you just block him from doctor's appointments. You don't have, he has joint legal custody.
Correct.
Okay, so you are not permitted, you do not have authority to bar him from going to any appointments. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. As far as the language goes, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to enforce that. I mean, it's not something the front of the court usually enforces, but obviously we want the two of you to get along as co-parents for the sake of your child. But moving forward, I hope it's clear, we're not supposed to be barring him from any medical appointments unless the court says otherwise. Understood?
Yes.
All right, thank you all.
Your Honor, can I just address one other issue very quickly? The court order states that the parties are supposed to be exchanging the minor child at the sheriff's department. The defendant is often demanding that my client either meet her or pick Noah up at her house or drop him off. And when he says, no, I want to meet at the sheriff's department for my safety, that's not taking place. And basically he's threatened with denial of his parenting time if he doesn't pick up and drop off where she wants.
Okay, I did read the order. It says Woodmere, so we need to be meeting there.
Just to input, there have been very few occasions where I have asked Matthew to drop him off or pick him up at a other location. And that's usually when I have to work. So, and Matthew has never thrown a fit about it. We've always agreed and made that work. Even just over the last week, he had to come up and bring him home. I met him to drop him off, but I had to have him bring him home, and that was not an issue.
It sounds like unless you agree otherwise, you have to be at the sheriff's department on Woodmere, and that's just the way it is.
Correct. And we have always agreed on those occasions where it's been otherwise.
Your Honor, I would say that's not true based on the communications. Just from November through February 22nd, there were, I think, 12 occasions where she requested and required that he pick up and drop off at her home. There was no asking. It was, you have to come here and get him. Otherwise, I guess you don't get parenting time. And the one time my client did push back and said, no, I'll be meeting you at the sheriff's department to exchange him, Miss St. Charles said that she was going to call the cops if he did not drop the minor child off at her home and try and report him for kidnapping.
Well, obviously, we can't do that, Ms. Wagner. So
Okay.
You're going to have some, you cannot deny parenting time based on the exchange if it's supposed to be at Woodmere. I mean, the two of you can still agree otherwise, but it sounds like that's not really what's happening. You're just telling him what to do. So we can't do that. You're not in charge. You have joint legal custody and you've got a judgment of divorce. If you're looking to change the judgment of divorce, that's a totally different thing. But we're not here for that. We're here to enforce the judgment. And I mean, it's sad really that the judgment was entered in October and we're already here for these minor issues that are affecting parenting time in March. So we've got a long road. Two of your. Thank you, Ms. Mullen.
Tracy Mullen on behalf of friend of the court. This is the matter of Sarah Boyd versus Cal Santilli, docket number 2021-010-643-DS. This case is now in arrears only based on a second order modifying order for custody, support, and parenting time signed December 22nd, 2022. That became effective, a zero support order, as of December 1st, 2022. And the remaining balance on the account is $492, of which Ms. Boyd is owed $429 in child support and medical support. The remainder is fees. The prior charge on the case for the one child was $429 per month. The last payment made on the account was in November 2022. Mr. Santilli paid $1,287.
That payment was right before our last child support show cause hearing, correct?
This is a new motion, but there was, I believe, previous scheduled enforcement that was resolved prior to any kind of contempt findings, payment plans, or other hearings.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Santilli, so what's been going on?
I guess I don't understand why the child support was set to zero when she the papers that I received said that she would owe me $43 a month. And I
I
mean,
guess I'm wondering why you haven't paid the 492 is all I'm worried about right now.
well, because I thought if I got the $43 a month, that after 10 months, that would be almost $492.
In other words, you knew you had to pay, you decided not to pay and violate the court order.
I guess there was just a misunderstanding.
Okay, Ms. Boyd, anything you'd like to add?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so at our last hearing, I did warn you, I knew that I had a feeling this would happen where you just blatantly violate the court order. I'm gonna find you in contempt. That $492 needs to be paid by Friday at 5 p.m. or you need to remand yourself to the Leelanau County Jail where you'll have to spend up to 30 days in jail or until it's paid. Understood?
Okay.
All right, thank you both.
Thank you.
Justin Nicholas Mahekaby.
Mike Kobe.
Mike Kobe, thank you.
Yeah.
Versus Nicolette Spoor, file number 2015-12167DS. Notice of adjournment was mailed January 18th, 2023, adjourning this matter from February 2nd to today's date. The child support obligation in this matter is based on the party's order for custody, support, and parenting time that was entered in February of 2021. The case is a 2015 case, but the parties had reported to our office they were living together for a period of time. There were no child support charges from January 2017 through February of 2021. Since the charges initiated, they've initiated at the rate of $181 a month total. That's for 2 children. Most recent payments made at the time I was preparing for the case was $52.46 in September of 2021. Currently, Ms. Spoor owes a total of $3,268.54. Of that total, $3,205.54 is owed to the other party. I can pull the payment history up for the court's review.
All right, ma'am, so what's been going on?
I just had a series of misfortunate luck is what happened. I'm back living at my mom's house right now. I got in a little trouble. It was kind of a while ago. I was taking care of it and everything, but I ended up having to go to jail for a little while. And in that time that I went to jail, my vehicle had gotten impounded, and it's a 2013 Chevy Equinox. I just paid $9,000. I was doing really good, had everything in it, just kind of set me back. But it was in there for 4 months. So I had to try to come up with the money to get it out because I don't have another vehicle here at my mom's house to be able to get work. I don't know if you're familiar, with the area here in Mesick, but everything is really, really, really far away. Not everything. I have gone up to the gas stations. Like I even pulled my bicycle out and stuff. But either way, I just got my car. The impound fees was $9,000, but I was able to talk them down to $1,000 to be able to get it out. I have a friend that so what we have going on right now, and this is I just spoke to him again about this situation and about getting my vehicle, because I need a little bit of front end work, and then I need my vehicle to be legal so that I can make it back and forth to and from work. So he's considering doing another loan for me, since he still has, we had written out a contract with like he's got my title, and I signed up if I don't pay the money back or come up with another agreement, that he would take over, the vehicle would go to him. Basically, he's using that as collateral. But he's been really great, and he's been working with me on it and everything, and understands that I can't get work if I don't have a way to get back and forth to work.
Okay, in other words, you got a vehicle now ready to get to work?
Yes, it needs a little bit of front end work. So that's what he's going to do, another loan with me, and I have to get it legal. But I just talked to him yesterday. So he's supposed to talk to me either probably tomorrow about, we're supposed to get together, sit down, find out exactly how much I'm going to need, and write out another contract.
Okay, because we're not looking at a huge monthly obligation.
No, it's not.
For 2
I know
kids, okay. I
I have no income at all right now. I even owe my mom for all the rent since I've been here. Like, she doesn't want me here. This is it's not my proudest, moment. And actually I was doing really good. I had the girls full time. Me and Justin were still separated. So I had the girls for a long time, but then I wasn't able to work then either. I couldn't find child care. So I asked him if he would take the girls so I could get back on my feet. And I swear, as soon as I asked him to do that, everything kind of fell out from underneath me. But I'm slowly getting it back together. But things are definitely starting to move faster anyway, now that I've gotten my vehicle out, and I feel like I'm in a really good spot right now.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's any need to talk about jail. That's not gonna help, but I think you do have the ability to work. We got to get a job going and get payments going. I'm not sure what there's no real manifest hardship here. So we're not talking about jail, but I am gonna find you in contempt and put you on a payment plan. Okay.
That's fine. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, so I have fines also with what I had going on before, and I've barely been able to make those, but I've been talking to him. Is there any possible way that I can make it something really low? And then if I can't I just don't want to get in more trouble, and I want to be able to be honest, but I can't use my mom's truck, and I feel like I said, everything's like going slowly, but I'm really worried that I'm going to end up getting caught up in, like if $20 or something like that, something that's feasible. And then if I have more money, I will put more money on it.
What are the fines and costs in your criminal case?
They're not very much at all, actually. That's only I think it's $516 I owe altogether in those fines. That's why they let me make that really low. And then I got in a little fender bender. It was like a civil infraction. It was a $200 fine that I got for that. And that just started back in, I think it was November. And I've been making little payments on that too. This is embarrassing saying this, like that I have no money, like no money. So I've been like doing little odd jobs for people. I fix things, so people, that's the only income that I have right now until I get my vehicle going. So I can't even borrow my mom's truck unless I walk, like I said. The factory was hiring and then they pulled the sign, but that would have been perfect.
All right. Well, I can't change your monthly amount on child support. You'd have to file a different motion for that, but
okay.
I can cut you a break as to when it starts. I'm still going to make contempt finding and get that going. Okay. But that way, it's coming, and I'll basically, you'll know what to expect. Basically, it's going to be a 2-year payment plan. Okay. You'll have to pay what's owed and $87 in arrears, because we do have $3,000 owed, and at 181, it hasn't just been, the last couple months that you haven't paid. Okay. We've had quite a long history of not paying.
Absolutely. I want to pay my child support. Like I said,
all right. And so we'll have the 2-year payment plan, paid what's owed plus $87 a month. If you fail to comply with that payment plan, a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest. You may have to serve up to 30 days in jail, which we don't want. I'll set bond at $300. I'll start your payment plan in 60 days.
Thank you.
Okay. So that gives you 60 days to get back on track, to get work going and all of that. But that means, just so you know, if you don't pay, the arrears is going to continue to go up.
Absolutely.
Okay, but what I don't want to have is a situation that you seem to be fearful of, which I hope doesn't happen, is we just have no income coming in at all, and then a bench warrant gets issued. That's not going to help anybody. Okay. Right. So I'll start it in 60 days.
Thank you.
But, keep in mind that that's what's going to start in 60 days. So
absolutely,
whatever else is going on,
that gives me plenty
it's not
of
a
time.
huge amount of time. It's not a huge amount of time, but typically I'd start it this second. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So let's just keep in touch with your caseworker if there are any other issues, but also
I can put in a motion to lower my support, though. Like, I don't know that much about all this stuff. It's still kind of new with everything, but I will get a hold of my caseworker, actually.
You could still file that motion, sure, but
I know it's not very much.
Just keep in mind that in 60 days this is going to start, and if there's non-payment still, a bench warrant could be issued. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thanks, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning. It is March 2nd, 2023. This is date and time set for front of the court show cause hearing with regard to child support. Mr. McClelland, if you just state your name for the record, please.
Michael Thomas McClelland.
Thank you. And Mr. Hogue.
Jeremy Hogue, friend of the court. This is a matter of Elizabeth Ludwig versus Michael McClelland, file number 2010 7787 DM. A notice of adjournment was mailed January 17th, 2023, adjourning the matter from February 2nd to today's date. The most recent order regarding child support is the party's stipulation in order to change custody, domicile, visitation, and support that was entered in July of 2013. That requires $185 in child support for one child. Most recent payment at the time I was preparing was from April of 2022, a $207 payment. I would indicate that there is a child support review that's been scheduled in this matter for the middle of this month, and that the current arrears balance at this point in time is $2,774.73. Of that total amount, $2,396.62 is owed to the other party, the remainder in fees. I can pull the payment history up for the court's review.
All right, sir. So what's been going on?
Me, Your Honor?
That's
I'm sorry. Oh, it's been kind of a crazy couple of years. Not really making excuses. I've been really bad with the payments. I've been kind of being a stay-at-home dad to a 15-year-old. I've also been helping my mom. She moved and she had a divorce and she moved and she was in a home for 20 some years of her own that she had been in. It was a long time. So I've been doing this, helping my family out, staying at home. I finally just got 2 jobs. I have a painting job coming up this month, which is actually quite fruitful. And I'm actually currently just started within 3 weeks, construction. So, and I don't even know my boss's name or the job yet. So that's like the company name. So like, that's how kind of new it is, but I'm actually currently trying to keep getting these payments back on track. We had just received our tax returns, and for us to get those, they take a lot of past debts out. And one of them I was told was taken was for my arrearage. And I believe it was like $2,210 that was actually taken, because it's actually an amount that shows where it goes to. I know that's involuntary. However, that's a good payment. I'm so glad they did. And I'm still working. I'm trying to get the other payments caught up to where I can be right back to where I am. I've been out of town the last week with my wife's mother. She's been in the hospital at the ICU. I've been trying to fill out this paperwork for my review. I've just been so busy with all of this going on. I'm trying to keep everything under control and get all the paperwork back that's due. I'm not trying to slough any responsibilities or not pay anything that's due that I need to do for my responsibilities. I'm trying to get it back on track and get back to where I'm current. And with the tax return release of that should have made it a lot easier for me, significantly. And I'm just surprised it hasn't shown yet. So,
Okay, so we think the tax return will at least make you current or very close, right?
I'll probably owe 300, 400, maybe 500 cents. I just recently got the official paperwork where you mail in a money order for MISDU, and it said that my arrearage was like 2,400, 2,500. So it should be pretty close to being either capped off and finished or very close to when I actually can make my next payment, which will be before
and
the
then you're
middle of the
working
month.
2 jobs. When do you start working both jobs?
Well, I'm supposed to go back Monday to start the job. I had to take time. I had 1 week on. Actually, I started on a Tuesday. That Friday, I had to leave to go up north with my wife for her mother-in-law in the hospital. I'm supposed to start back up this Monday. So that will make me back to work officially. The painting is, that was something, trying to find work, and it was something that came out, and I get to do that on my time in between, which will be a lot easier to do, weekends and off work after nights and stuff. And it's a friend of the family, so it should work out very well.
Yeah, I mean, I would think a weekend job would take care of $185. I mean,
It's actually a lot more. I mean, it's to help me keep like this coming month's payment, next month's payment. It's over $1,000 of a painting job. So I'll be able to get everything all caught up and then some is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I should be, plus the construction job.
All right. Well, here's what we'll do then. If we can get this, I'll cut you a break because the tax return might be coming in and then you're working a couple jobs. I'll adjourn this out 90 days so that you're getting your payments in.
Absolutely.
But if, in 90 days, if we're kind of at the same spot, I may have to consider a contempt and some payment plans or something, because it's really not that high of a bill, and you got quite arrears for what that is. So, and it sounds
Right.
like you are able to work. We're just not.
Oh, I
getting
am
paid.
willing to. A lot of it was, my wife was in the career after COVID hit. I was at home and she jumped out there before I was able to, and I was still nervous to go out, but she started working. I was the stay-at-home dad with school, and all of that stuff. And I was able to get back in the summer, but then it stopped, and it's been chaotic. And
Okay.
this COVID.
Well, sure. We'll want to see you get back
Yeah.
on track, and keep in mind too that with a review coming up, that child support amount, it doesn't always go down. Sometimes it goes up.
Correct.
So you need to be making sure that whatever amount is owed is the one you're paying.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank
right,
you,
thank
sir,
you.
Your Honor.
Okay, I just have to circle back with the two co-parents.
We'll hop in the breakout room.
We
and
can
once
go
you're-
off YouTube too.
I'm here. Just
All right, it's March 2nd, 2023. This is date and time set for front of the court show cause hearing with regard to child support. Mr. Armstrong, if you'd state your name for the record, please.
Give me 1 second. Dylan James Armstrong.
Thank you. And Ms. Marino.
Arlette Yanine Marino.
Thank you. Mr. Hoag.
Jeremy Hoag, friend of the court. This is a matter of Arlette Moreno versus Dylan Armstrong. The wrong thing in front of me. File number 2017-13456DS. Mr. Armstrong was served with a motion order to show cause on January 31st, 2023 with respect to unpaid child support. The child support charging right now is based on the party's first order modifying their order for custody, support, and parenting time that was entered December of 2020. That order requires a $305 a month total obligation. The most recent payment made at the time of preparation was a $181.84 in June of 2022. Currently, not taking in March's charge into account, there's $5,787.32 owed to the other parent. There's a total obligation of $6,583.67 is the total arrearage. That incorporates some medical support from the state, as well as costs associated with the previous issuance of bench warrants and fees. I can provide further payment information for the court's review if you'd like.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. So what's been going on?
I actually just got housed. I got a 2-bedroom apartment at the Villages. I have a job at Chili's. I've been a little bit behind. I haven't had any visitation at all in years. My daughter's busy. My daughter's very educated, smart. She's pursuing her school the best she can. So I totally understand and agree. I'd just like to establish some kind of parenting. I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I haven't paid. I guess I was homeless for the past year, and it was just not working out good. So now that I've got housed and I've been working this whole time, I'm clean. I'm motivated. I got letters from proceeding going on through a different court in Grand Traverse, from the Goodwill and from Northern Michigan Community Action Agency and so on and so forth, stating that my housing has definitely changed my life around. And I'm just trying to get back on track. So if I could start paying, that'd be fine. I can make a payment today.
Sure. Sounds like we've got some good news there. Sounds like we're getting back on track. That's part of what, we're doing here. You got a house and a job. We don't need to talk about jail. So let's talk a little bit about getting back on track and what you said. What could you pay in the next 7 days?
I'll pay $100.
Okay. I'll take that. $100 in the next 7 days works.
Yes, Your Honor. I also had I checked my paperwork. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I checked my tax paperwork. I need to file my taxes for the past 3 years, but it did state that they took $500 out of my state. I know that you guys taking money doesn't count because it was supposed to be money that I give, but there was $500 taken out of my state taxes as well.
For this year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that'll take a chunk out of things. Now, you said you're working at Chili's. Is that a place that we could get an income withholding order going and then it could come out of your paycheck?
Usually with my child support, I just let it hit my my job. Within the first, sorry, go ahead. He's got his hand up.
No, I'm waiting for you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Usually what happens is I get a check or two, and then after that check or two, it just kicks right in. You know.
Okay.
And what I wanted to share with the court, Your Honor, is that it looks like we actually, so I prepared for these cases on Monday and Tuesday this week, and it looks like on March 1st, we just had our first hit on income withholding order. So I think we're in great shape. You're saying you're at Chili's, and I see that the employer's name is Brinker International or something. It must be the payroll company for Chili's.
That's the corporate name is Brinker.
Yep. So, Your Honor, we are receiving payments via income withholding order at this point.
All right. Ms. Marino, anything you'd like to add? Ms. Marino, anything you'd like to add?
Arlette.
She's not muted.
No. Well, all right. It sounds like we're getting back on track. You have quite a bit of an arrears, sir, but I mean, if you can keep things going the way you are, positive track, staying clean, keeping your housing, keeping your job, we shouldn't have any issues. We've got the income withholding order in place. You're going to pay $100 in 7 days. And then it sounds like we're going to get a tax refund too. So I'm confident, sir, that the trajectory is positive. Okay. So let's keep, okay. Let's keep up the positive actions and everything that's going well. Okay. I'm comfortable with just adjourning this out 90 days and seeing where we're at. If he's having steady payments, we can just dismiss it.
Very good. So, Mr. Armstrong, what you're going to do is prior to the adjourned date that you're going to get on this, you're going to get an order from today's hearing saying it's adjourned 90 days. Prior to that, contact our office to see if it remains scheduled. If you continue to have payments coming via income withholding order, we will dismiss the adjourned date.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. You too.
Okay, next we have Chloe Holstein.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks. Holstein. Excuse me. All right, it's March 2nd, 2023. This is date and time set for friend of the court show cause hearing with regard to child support. Ms. Holstein, you're on mute, but if you'd state your name for the record, please. Are they set up to come in on mute? Because basically everybody's coming in on mute today.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
They shouldn't be.
Okay.
I'm sorry, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
No
yes,
problem.
I can. Yes.
Okay. If you just state your name for the record, then, ma'am, please.
Chloe Holstein.
Thank you. And Mr. Hogue.
All right, Jeremy Hogue, friend of the court. This is the matter of Chloe Holstein versus Ryan Phillips, file number 2008-5858 DS. Motion order show cause was served on Ms. Holstein January 31st, 2023. The child support obligation currently charging is based on the party's third order modifying their order for custody support and parenting time that was entered in March of 2012. That requires $162 a month total for 2 children. The most recent support payment received was in February of 2021. That was from an income withholding order, and that was in the amount of $133.68. I would indicate that the long-term history for Ms. Holstein, that there have been several periods we've had income withholding orders in effect and received payments, but otherwise there's been no payments made between those payments via income withholding. And I would also indicate that each time Ms. Holstein has been incarcerated, her support has been abated multiple times. Still, there's a total arrears balance of $17,940.47. Of that amount, $15,410.87 is owed to the other party. $1,703 is owed to the state. $350 in costs associated with the issuance of previous bench warrants, and $476 in fees. I can pull the payment history up for the court's review.
Okay, Ms. Holstein, what's been going on?
My current situation right now is that I'm in rehab. I am an addict. I have, and I'm mentally unstable. I just got out of Munson's D6 psych ward. I'm an addict, and there's been periods of times where, and I'm mentally unstable, I'm not on medication. They just literally put me on medication for my mental disabilities. And there's periods of time where I work, but I don't work. It's because my addiction gets the best of me, honestly. And it's really hard for, being mentally unstable and not on medication and being an addict. It's hard to really do anything in life because my addiction took over. I almost just died. I was in the hospital for a week. They saved my life. Right now I'm in rehab. I just got here. I'm gonna be here 120 days. And I'm hoping after I get out of here, I will be clean. I'm staying up here. Traverse City's bad for me when it comes to triggers and trying to even stay clean. I've been there all my life. I know everybody. So no matter where I go, it's a trigger or it's a temptation or something. So I'm really trying to change my life. I'm fighting for my life right now. I want to be sober. I want to stay sober. I want to be a normal, independent person, a person, in a society doing something with their life. So I plan to get a job up here as soon as I get out. I'm going to be in sober living. And then I'll be able to make payments towards child support. Like I said, it's really hard for me. I mean, a lot of people don't understand addiction, and literally it just saved my life. So
Are you up in the SUE right now?
I am.
Yeah, I recognize the room. So I do have a lot of empathy for you, ma'am. What I'm going to do is find that you don't have the ability to pay. We want you to get clean. We want you to get moving in that track. I mean, obviously it sounds like you had a terrifying incident very recently, but you're in rehab now. I wish you the best of luck with your treatment. And I am going to ask that you contact your caseworker as soon as you're out of rehab so we can try to work with you. Okay. But as of today, I don't believe there's any ability to pay, and it would be a manifest hardship. So I'm going to dismiss the contempt. But ma'am, keep in mind, just make sure you reach out to your caseworker. If you're staying up there, make sure you still have a case here. Okay. So make sure you reach out. I'm sure there are other things that you are working on as well, but make sure that when you get out and hopefully clean and a plan to stay clean, you can reach out to your caseworker. Okay, and we'll try to work with you the best we can.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Good luck, ma'am.
Thanks, Ms. Holstein.
Thank you.
All right, it is March 2nd, 2023. This is date and time set for front of the court show cause hearing with regard to child support. Mr. Minix, if you'd state your name for the record, please.
Joshua Lee Minix.
And Ms. Creamer?
Tiffany Creamer.
And Mr. Hogue.
Jeremy Hogue, front of the court. Your Honor, this is the matter of Tiffany Creamer versus Joshua Minix, file number 2018-14347 DS. Motion order show cause was served on Mr. Minix January 31st, 2023 for a child support obligation that's based on the party's first order modifying their order for custody, support, and parenting time. And I did not note the date that was entered, but that first order requires $964 a month in child support, health insurance premium, the ordinary medical support, as well as a $408 child care charge. The last payment received when I was preparing for the case on Monday was $727.23 in September of 2022. I would indicate that Mr. Minix had a good payment history from September 2019 through September 2021. However, that payment history, that's really one of the only good periods of payment. Right now, there's $17,556.59 owed to Ms. Creamer in child care, child support, and medical support. A total arrears balance of $17,837.80. The remainder in costs associated with the issuance of a bench warrant as well as fees. I can pull the payment history up for the court's review.
All right, Mr. Minnick, so what's been going on?
Actually, Your Honor, I actually kind of wrote a letter to help me kind of, verbalize everything. Can I read that to you?
Sure.
Okay. Your Honor, I would like to apologize to both you and Tiffany for having this hearing today. As the court and Tiffany both know, I have struggled tremendously over the past few years with serious physical and mental health issues. My treatment, as you know, I've been through months in it. I have documentation for that. In addition, COVID happened and that kind of complicated a lot of things, making it more challenging. But however, after admitting myself for a second time this December in a psychiatric treatment, things have started to change both physically and mentally for me. Medications have been adjusted and subtracted. And as far as the physical illness, when I went through an 8-week treatment condition, and I've been able to get over that. And kind of moving forward, today I'm both physically and mentally healthy. I'm a carpenter. I'm trying to start my own business, and I've landed a couple starter jobs down here in Florida. I have lined up work when I get back to Michigan as well. I guess basically, I am now trying to. I got that part. Get back on track with. I'm trying to get back on track with my child support and doing regular payments, and I agree. All that 17,000, I 100%. I'm not trying to fight it. I am just trying to get it to where I can start paying on that and contribute both financially and physically and be the best dad I can. But yeah, that's kind of what I've got there.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kramer, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I guess it is extremely difficult to do this on my own, and there's increasing costs of everything, and it's an everyday struggle to find the means to support my daughter, and I need help. I feel like I've heard this before, so I guess I'm losing hope a little bit. So
all right, thank you.
I
So
really need help. Yeah, sorry.
Sir, I'm glad to hear you're getting some things back on track. Since you said you've got some work coming, you admit you're healthy and able to pay. We can throw jail off the table, but I am going to find you in contempt and set you on a 2-year payment plan. You're to pay what's owed plus $87 a month towards the arrears, because I don't believe there's any manifest hardship here. They're basically, we need to get payment coming in. I mean, it hasn't been no payment since September of 22. We're going a long time, and then still with the $17,000 arrears, we're way behind, and it's time to start getting payments coming in. So again, you need to pay what's owed plus $87 a month during this 2-year payment plan. If you fail to do so, a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest, and you may have to serve up to 30 days in jail. I'm going to set bond at $2,000. So in other words, sir, if you pay as ordered, we shouldn't have any issues, but the only real way to guarantee that one, a bench warrant won't be issued and that we can start getting some money in is this payment plan.
Yeah, I completely understand.
All right. Thank you all.
Very good. Thanks, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Vincent, so Brian and Valerie.
Okay, so we're done with Vincent. So we have Brian Workman. Wait,
Brian and his
Yeah.
co-parent, right?
yes, Brian and his co-parent.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, it's March 2nd, 2023. This is a time set for front of the court show cause hearing with regard to child support. Mr. Workman, if you'd state your name for the record, please.
Brian Workman.
And Ms. McPherson.
Valerie. Well, my name's Valerie Phillips, but I think you guys have Valerie McPherson.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Hoag.
Jeremy Hoag, friend of the court. Thanks, Your Honor. This is the matter of Valerie, formerly known as McPherson versus Brian Workman, filed in 2017-13431. DM. Motion order show cause was served on Mr. Workman February 1st, 2023, based on an unpaid child support obligation that was established in the party's judgment of divorce in January of 2018. That judgment of divorce requires $254 a month in total support. The most recent payment made at the time of preparation was last March. We received a total payment of $70.69. That was via income withholding. I would indicate that up until that time in March, that payments had been paid on a fairly consistent basis. It was a decent payment history. However, as of now, Mr. Workman owes a total of $4,421.50. Of that, $4,211.57 is owed to the other parent. The remainder, $310, is owed in fees. I can pull the payment history up for the court's review.
Thank you, Mr. Workman. What's been going on?
I've just been dealing with some mental health issues and some health issues of my own, and I'm looking for a job right now. I'm going to pay $4,000 of that I get money on March 6th in full. Or if it's $4,200, I can pay that too.
You can pay the $4,000 when?
March 6th.
That's next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have to do like a cashier's check to the court or the front of the court, or how does that work?
You can pay in many different ways.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're coming into our office, Mr. Workman, it's either a cashier's check or cash. But if you're making the payment through the MISDU, there's lots of different ways you can do it.
Okay. Just so I have an understanding of that.
Yep.
Ms., you said Phillips, correct?
Yes.
Anything you'd like to add or say?
I just would like to maybe remind Brian that our daughter is a type 1 diabetic, and her health supplies are very expensive, and there's no help whatsoever with her, and just all of her supplies and her insulin and everything is just very expensive. And also, because he doesn't have a job, he can't afford insurance on his car, so he can't drive. So that's also been pretty tough to deal with. It's a lot of driving for me back and forth. It's been really hard, and I've told him that, but it doesn't seem to matter too much.
Oh, it does matter.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So it'd be nice to see some steady payments, in other words, correct, ma'am?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're getting pretty far behind here, sir, on arrears with a fairly low monthly amount of $254. I appreciate the fact that you say you're going to pay the $4,000 by March 6th.
Yes.
And I think that's fine, but so we don't have to talk about jail or anything like that, but I don't find any evidence that you can't work. You're just not working, and there's no manifest hardship. So I am going to make a contempt finding to ensure that you pay $254 a month. We'd love to see that $4,000.
Well, I am going to. I've been dealing with some things too, so
I understand.
I don't-
This way we can keep you on a
Right.
steady schedule of a 2-year payment plan. You're to pay what's owed plus $87 a month. If you fail to do so, a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest. You may have to
Okay.
serve up to 30 days in jail. I'll set bond at $500. So basically, sir, if you pay as ordered plus the 87, you won't have any issues. Okay. I don't want
Okay.
you. I don't want you in jail any more than anyone else. But as
So
you,
4,000 plus 87 or whatever is it or?
no, the 254 plus 87. If you pay the 4,000, that's going to take out the need to have the 87. Okay, because basically the 87 is just to take care of the arrears. So we don't
Okay,
need
got
that if you take care of your arrears. But
Okay.
I want to make sure you're paying the 254 every month, and that's the contempt finding or this payment plan. I hope will ensure that, because if you pay, then we don't have any issues. We don't have to talk about jail. We don't have to have hearings. And we don't have to have bench warrants, quite frankly. Okay.
Right. Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
All right, thanks, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
I think that's it for our 915s, Matt.
Okay. We'll go off the record then.